In our first story, the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has rejected a section of the Lands Act 2020 that empowers the citizenry to take chiefs to court to account for land sales. The act puts the traditional authority in a fiduciary role over lands and empowers subjects to demand accountability over the use of proceeds from land sale. But the Asantehene, at a meeting between the Ashanti Region House of Chiefs and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, stated areas under his leadership are exempt in that application of the Act. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Ebujinapo, led a team from the ministry to explain the new Lands Act to the Asanteman Traditional Council. This was at the request of the council. One of the principal issues that came up was the power the new act gives to subjects over the sale of lands. Samuel Ebujinapo explains.
To say Nananom and as tools stand to possess a fiduciary duty. Fiduciary duty in anything.
The chiefs are caretakers of the lands. They hold it in trust, so their subjects can demand accountability even in court. Subject
court say, oh, Sebio, senior Akonyano, Anase Nana, Afaso Odisha Assassino, Kutia Marano, Anase on Cheso Kwaya, a dim faso, Eba, Emma, and mining. So the fiduciary duty of Nanano, as expressed in this act, it's important that we emphasize on that.
However, the Asantehene argues otherwise. According to him, the Asante Kingdom has its own systems of accountability over the sale of land, which they hold in trust for his office. He says any suspicion of mismanagement by the Traditional Council is reported to his office for appropriate action. Not all that is printed here is applicable to my jurisdiction. I put chiefs and fetish in charge of the lands. The chiefs are not accountable to any youth. The elders of various chiefs are the people who can call for accountability, and that is when I step in. There is accountability in the kingdom, but not to any individual. The Asantehene advocates a review of laws regulating mineral resources in the country for purposes of equity in sharing of benefits. Whoever comes to mine in this country must be checked. There is no mechanism to check gold mined from any jurisdiction. This is something we must pay attention to. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
While constitutional lawyer Inusuf Hussaini says the posturing of the Asantehene suggests that he is putting himself above the law, and he joins us on the phone with more. Good afternoon, sir, and many thanks for your time.
Yeah, good afternoon, and how are you? I'm
okay, thank you. Now, you've heard the Otumfuo, and you said he's putting himself above the law with his posturing. Can you kindly explain this?
Well, what the minister was trying to convey to the chiefs of the Ashanti region was the provisions of the law captured in Chapter 2, Part 1 of the Land Act 2000. And that clearly deals with customary land management. Subjects up those provisions to Clause 8 of Article 36 of the Constitution, and then provides for the procedure for challenging or calling the customary land management owners, that is the chiefs, the tendanes, the clan heads, the family heads, to account. Now, you see, what the law seeks to do in its entirety is to bring about a sustainable land management and administration policies in this country. And so, people, and especially chiefs who are fiduciaries, I mean, they are not owners. They're not owners of the land.
Yeah.
The land is owned by the people. Ashanti Hene must understand that when they were fighting the Ashanti War, it was not only his ancestors who fought the war. All Ashantis fought the war. At best, his ancestors provided leadership. And as leaders, as a leader, they put him in a fiduciary relationship because people who were not royals lost blood to be able to acquire the land.
Yeah.
Hunters who ventured on exploration were able to reduce the land. And because they were subject of the Ashanti Kingdom, that land became Ashanti Kingdom because they were subject of the Ashanti Kingdom. This is how land was acquired. And they put leaders in charge. And like I said, I mean, if you look at Part 2, Section 13 of the Lands Act, the head of family accountability law applies to customary land management. But you see, because we want certainty, predictability, the preservation of the dignity and sanctity of traditional authority, the law provides that one must exhaust local remedies before going to court. So Ashanti Hene says, yes, for me, in my kingdom, we have procedures to deal with that. The law contemplates that. But that doesn't mean that a person dissatisfied with the way that the Ashanti Kingdom has gone about rendering accountability on land management is stopped from going to court. If you are a subject, you can still take the Ashanti Kingdom to court.
All right,
and I think that Ashanti Hene must know that. I mean, it's there. I mean, he has lawyers advising him.
Yeah.
They should read Section 13(6) of the law.
Now, Mr. Hussaini, what then becomes of the enforcement of the law on land administration?
That's the enforcement. So if a person, you know, the level of impunity in customary land management and conversion, in the sense that persons who have been chiefs, who were put in fiduciary relationship to manage customary land, have converted the land to private property. They sell the land or lease out the land, alienate the land, without rendering accounts to anybody. And nobody knows what they do with the money. Nobody. You only see a manifestation of their activities in themselves and their family. When the land is the inalienable right of all subjects of the traditional area.
All right. Now, he said this before the minister, but not much came out in terms of pushing the state's interests. Could this in any way maybe like send signals to other chiefs?
No, it will apply to all other chiefs. I mean, all other chiefs. I take consolation in the caveat the Ashanti Hene provided, that there is a procedure for going about holding chiefs who have been put in place of the various traditional areas to manage Ashanti land, to render accounts, to do the management in an open, fair, transparent, and non-discriminatory manner. I take that consolation, but I'm also adding that the Ashanti Hene is not above the law. The Ashanti Kingdom is not above the law.
Yeah.
And that fundamentally the Ashanti Kingdom, the Ashanti Hene, and all the chiefs in the Ashanti region and all over Ghana must know that in the quest to reduce land into possession, it was not only their ancestors who did that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hussaini. That is Inisa Hussaini, who's a constitutional lawyer, who believes that Otumfuo is putting himself above the law with his posturing.